What's going on, traders? Welcome to the channel. My name's John. That's Groot. We trade options here. So today we are covering really quickly a new trade just opened up today in AirBNB, ABNB, and it is a call debit spread. So this is a lot different than the credit spreads that we typically take on. It's still a bullish position, and we're betting that Airbnb goes higher. So I'm going to explain why, and I'll explain the mechanics of the trade to you here with that call debit spread. All right, so we are in TradingView just to show you kind of a general brief chart of Airbnb. We're on the daily chart, and what you do is you're going to see that we had shot up after IPO and came back down to earth basically. And what has happened as you get near these levels, you start to see a support kind of come in. A lot of funds, a lot of big money will see this and they'll say, hey, this is a great risk reward in this trade, and then they may come in and support the price level. So that's really what I'm kind of looking at. That's kind of what I'm banking on. But more importantly, this is a reopening trade, and gosh, school's out in a couple weeks. People are going to be just bustling, traveling. They're lifting mask requirements all over the place, all kinds of stuff. And even with my family and friends, we have been searching for places to go and things to do, and Airbnbs are just getting booked solid. Rental cars are crazy expensive. So this bounce back seems imminent and likely. So keep that in mind. But the thing I like is a couple things. We had earnings recently. I don't really follow earnings that much in short-term trades, so I didn't keep up with this. Just let me know if they're good or bad, whatever. But the recent reversal here, we're going to find out this week whether this reversal continues up or stays where it's at or goes lower. But big red bar, big volume, and what we had noticed as the week went on is that insider selling had come in. So the lockup period expired. People who have been locked into the stock forever, maybe they were early investors or maybe they've worked with the company for a long time, they want to get their money out. And so really you can't fault them. If anyone sees that as a negative, then I don't think they're looking at the big picture of the stock and the health of the company itself. So always keep that in mind. Now, next thing I look for here is these resistance levels, 155, 160, 170, looking pretty good here. All these reversal bars, they're a bit higher, so I stage my trade around that. So let's check that out. Okay, so we are in Tasty Works. You'll see Airbnb. I had actually bought the 145 call and sold the 160 call. So I bought closer to the money, sold further away from the money, and this trade is actually 60 days out. You're going to see the profit and loss diagram. Basically what this means is as Airbnb goes higher, that's as I get closer to my capped maximum profit and loss potential. So just check that out. I'm going to explain this trade to you in just a minute, but a couple things I had looked at. I was considering leaps that are further out in time, maybe in 2022. That is still on the table. It's not something I wanted to do today, but it is something I'm considering buying, just naked leaps, if the stock continues to fall further. And then what I ended up doing is I looked here, I said, okay, let's take a speculative, somewhat risky trade that I feel good about, and that's 60 days out. And what we're doing, Airbnb is trading at 135.02. So I went out to the 145 strike, purchased that call, and then I sold this call a little bit further away. Now by doing this, I ended up paying a net debit actually, so no credits for me. I actually paid money to enter this trade, and I paid $370. So $370 was the debit. My max profit $1,130, and I've got 60 days, 59 days to let this play out and see how it goes. But there's two reasons I did this. One, really good potential profits. It's about 65% approximately for the profit target I'm looking at. So that's good. Those are usually probabilities I'm happy with. But if you look at this, if I just buy this call outright, so the 145, I'm actually losing about $10 a day in theta decay, and I don't want that right now. So to do this, I cap my upside, which is infinity if the stock goes to infinity. I'm going to cap this actually to 1,145, but I reduced my theta draw to only 1.6. So instead of me losing like $10, $15, $25 a day, I'm now just going to lose 1.6, and it'll accelerate to about $5-6 a day, but it's very good in this form. So pretty good trade setup. I like where it's looking. I like how this is staged, especially looking at the chart, the sentiment, and quite honestly, I'm pretty bullish on Airbnb. So don't let my opinion skew your own. Do your own research. I'm not a financial advisor or anything like that, but I do want you to see the mechanics, how I look at this trade, how I scheduled it, how I staged it, and what my expectations are. And the nice thing with that is that if I let this trade play out, through the week, I'll see how it goes. If we get follow through to the upside, I feel good about it. If we don't, then I can get rid of it. I'll lose a little bit of money, but at least I was in a trade that seemed to have some potential.